So we're going to talk about again, ito yung karugtong ng pinag-uusapan natin. It's about yung uh, audit of cash and cash equivalent. But this time we're going to talk more on the yung mga problems to solve, you know? So yung about yung dun sa mga yung mga theories, theoretical underlying theories ng cash and cash equivalents. We have already discussed that last time, no? So you can check this out, yung previous video nitong audit of cash and cash equivalents. So without much ado, we can now proceed. So as we say a while ago, we will focus more on the auditing problem about this dito sa cash and cash equivalent. No? Okay, so we have already gathered the basic knowledge and the now we're ready to develop yung skill na yun. No? Okay, again, I would suggest to most of you, all of you, BS accountancy students, to solve your as many problems as you can, no? Especially ganitong time ng lockdown, as there are a lot of things na or a lot of yung mga inefficiencies that are eliminated kasi yung practically nandiyan ka lang sa bahay mo. At least, no? Okay, so I would say na you solve as many problems there is, no? Financial accounting, auditing, because by that you will develop your skills. No? Okay, you just don't develop your skills just by watching. Matututo ka dito, pero mas maganda kung after you have watched this, you can also practice it, apply it. That's why it's called audit and assurance, concepts and application. So there should be an application. Okay, so without much ado, let's proceed now. Itong ating in connection with your audit of the financial statements of Coron Company for the year ended December 31, 2018, you gather the following information. So ito raw, no? Auditor ka na dito, no? Okay, so ito yung mga nag-gather mo na info. The company maintains its current account with Lloyd Bank. The bank statements, alam mo yung itong Lloyd na to sa ano yan sa European, sa UK. The bank statement on December 31, 2018 showed a balance of 638,340. So your audit of the following of the account with Lloyd Bank disclosed the following. So ito yon. First bullet, a check for 22,500 received from a customer whose account is current had been deposited and then returned by the bank on December 28, 2018. No entry was made for the return of this check. So, wala raw ginawang journal entries. The customer replaced the check on January 15, 2019. So ito yung mga klaseng check-in na to. Ito yung mga NSF, yung mga non-sufficient fund, no? Ito yung mga return check, no? Okay, so maaring nagpa-encash yung company, pero wala naman palang laman, no? Okay, so yun yung kumbaga ito yung tinatawag na NSF check, no? Okay, so instead of yung debiting cash for that, okay, since wala ka namang cash na natanggap noon, since tumalbog, okay, because a check for 20,000 received from a customer's account is current had been deposited and then returned by the bank. So tumalbog nga, no, noong December 28, 2018. So i-revert back mo siya doon sa, o re-revert mo siya, redundant yun, no? Hindi pwedeng revert back, parang ano yan, no? Those are synonyms. English ka pa. You will revert that into yung accounts receivable. Okay, so wala raw ginawang entry doon for the return of the check. So yan, adjusting entry yan, no? Mamaya, no? Okay, so we'll take that up. Pangalawa, a check for 5,720 was cleared by the bank as 7,520. The bank made the correction on January 2, 2019. Sabi ko sa inyo, nagkakamali rin ang bangko eh. No? Okay? So, umamin na kayo. Nagkakamali rin kayo. No? Okay. So, ito raw yung check na to. Ito yung nakalagay, 5,720. Pero, clear sa bangko, nakalagay doon, 7,520. So, ibig sabihin, nabawasan yung, ano mo, yung account mo, no? By the difference between 5,720 and 7,520. Kasi 5,720 lang naman yung check mo, pero yun yung, ito yung clear ng bank, no? Okay, sir. So, the bank made the correction. So, nagkaroon siya correction the following year niya. Ano ba yung in-audit natin? 2018. Check for 3,500. Oh, mayroon tayo dyan. Yung adjusting entries. A check for 3,500 representing payment of an employee advance was received and deposited on December 27, 2018 but was not recorded until January 3, 2019. Ulitin nga natin yung check raw, no? Pag hindi mo kaya sa English, Tagalogin mo. Okay? Yung check raw na for 3,500 representing payment of an employee, bayad nung payment of an employee advance na na-receive natin at saka dineposit natin noong 2017, noong 2018. Pero hindi na, but was not recorded until January 3, 2019. So, ibig sabihin, we should have recognized that as cash already. Okay? Addition to cash already. Okay, because na-receive natin noong December 27, 2018, but we only recorded it on January 3, 2019. Okay? So may adjusting entry din mamaya dyan, no? The next is post-dated checks totaling 67,300 were included in the deposits in transit. Okay, post-dated checks, no? Okay, so naka-include siya sa deposit in transit. So, ibig sabihin, ano ba yung post-dated? Ibig sabihin, hindi pa siya due. Okay? So, hindi pa natin siya pwedeng i-recognize as additional cash, no? Kasi post-dated nga eh. This represent collections of current accounts receivable of customers. The checks were actually deposited on January 5, 2019. Okay, so tignan natin kung ano yung effect niyan. Various debit memos for drafts purchased for payment of importation of equipment totaling 230,000 were not yet recorded. Ayan, so meron tayong yung mga debit memos, no? Okay, so debit memos, ibig sabihin bawas doon naka-debit sa bangko, bawas sa bank statement natin, no? For drafts purchase, bumili kasi tayo, nag-import tayo. Ito yung mga LC, no? Yung mga letters of credit, yung transaction sa bangko, yung normally bank to yung bang to the supplier abroad, no? Okay, so totaling 230,000 were not yet recorded. So these purchases were previously set up as accounts payable. Okay, so parang accounts payable instead na since pero said equipment arrived in December 20. So ito dapat kailangan bawas sa cash natin 'yan by debiting accounts payable already kasi hindi na siya sa accounts payable kasi binayaran na natin 'yan and crediting cash of course. Mamaya papakita natin lahat 'yan, no? Relax ka lang dyan. Interest earned on the bank balance for the fourth quarter of 2018 amounting to 1,950 was not recorded. So ito yung interest na-earn natin, no? Okay, sa bank balance nung fourth quarter of 2018. Yan. So hindi natin, kumbaga addition to sa atin kasi credit ng bangko yan doon sa passbook natin, no? Okay. Pero hindi pa natin na-recognize yan. So recognize natin yan mamaya. And then bank service charges totaling 1,260 were not yet recorded. So normally ang bangko yung nauuna diyan sa mag-record ng bank service charge, no? Kasi well, yung paggamit dun sa bangko, of course, yun yung parang yung pambayad mo sa kanila, no? So mabilis kagad outright dinidebit kagad nila yan, no? Okay. So and then the last one, dito sa number 1 na finding, deposit in transit and outstanding checks at December 31, 2018 totaled 136,250 and 276,380 respectively. Ano ngayon? Ganito yun, no? So kailangan i-take up ni bangko yan, no? Kasi tayo na-record na natin yan. Pagka-deposit in transit, nauuna tayong i-record, no? Usually, these are timing difference, no? Okay? Nauuna tayo i-record na ano na natin, no? Record na natin, tapos i-deposit na natin, no? Pero sa reasons, hindi pa na mapasok sa bangko. So, this is a bank reconciling item, as well as yung outstanding checks. Okay, so number 2, outstanding checks, ito naman yung perang nabawas na natin sa cash balance natin, pero hindi pa tinitake up sa bangko. Ay, yan. Hindi pa na-clear do, hindi pa na-encash sa bangko. Okay, so this is also a reconciling item sa bangko. Okay, and then number 2, various expenses from the company's interest petty cash fund dated December 2018, total 16,250, while those dated January 2019 amounted to 5,903. Another disbursement from the fund dated mga sa petty cash na to, this is so itong problem na to comprehensive to. Yung kanina bank reconciliation, ito naman yung sa petty cash, no? So yan. So another disbursement from the fund dated December 2018 was a cash advance to an employee amounting to 3,500. And so, inilabas natin yan, no? Dun, out of the petty cash. And the replenishment of the petty cash fund was made on January 8, 2018. Yan. Alam nyo kasi itong petty cash, no? Ito yung mga small expenses na ginagawa sa company na incur, no? Let's say, mga travel expense ng mga office staff, no? Or let's say mga pambili ng mga stamps, ng mga bond paper, office supplies, no? At kuminsan pambili pa ng pizza, no? Kinukuha pa sa petty cash, no? Yun yung mga so yun, it is supported by the vouchers, no? Expense vouchers. May iti-take up natin yan, no? Okay, so number 3. Number 3, the company's trial balance on December 31, 2018 includes the following accounts. So, cash in bank, Lloyd Bank, 748,320. Cash in bank, Solid Bank. So, dalawang bangko niya, pero yung isa restricted account as to plant expansion expected to be disbursed in 2019. Okay, so 700,000. So napasama siya dun sa cash, no? Dapat ba isama siya? No? Naka-restricted nga siya, no? So siguro ilalagay natin sa non-current asset, no? Ayan na natin. And then yung petty cash fund, 330,000, no? Okay? Tapos okay lang yan. Time deposit placed on December 20, 2018 to March 20. So within 3 months, no? So, 1 million. Parang cash in cash equivalent, no? And then money market, Prudence Bank, that's 4 million. Ano naman sinasabi ko nung purity niya, no? Wala nang date, wala nang date. So, we assume that it is part of the cash. Okay, so let's go. Let's proceed to the required. Number 1, compute for the adjusted petty cash fund. Fund balance on December 31, 2018. Kumpitin natin yan. Tapos yung petty cash shortage on December 31, 2018. And then the next, ito na dito na sa cash in bank na tayo. So adjusted cash in bank, Lloyd Bank balance on December 31, 2018. And the journal number 4 is the journal entry. Yan. To adjust cash in bank to Lloyd's bank account, no? And finally, itong December 31, 2018 statement of financial position show cash and cash equivalents. How much? Okay, so let's take up yung number 1, no? So that is sa petty cash, no? So petty cash fund per trial balance. Okay, so nakalagay doon it's 30,000. Bakit 30,000? Ayun, no? Nakalagay. See? Tapos, nandun siya. Yan. There you go. Okay. And then yung isa naman, ano naman dito? Well, various expenses. Yan. Various expenses dated December 2018. Yan. So, 16,250. Okay? Ito yung mga various expenses na ito yun, no? Ito siya, yun, number 2. Various expenses from the impress cash system. Ito yung mga expenses na nagamit, no? O na-incurred na. Okay? So that's 16,250. And then the next one, para dun sa balance, no? Employee cash advance. Yan. Yung cash advance kasi, hindi natin siya na consider, no? Okay, so 3.5. Bawas din siya. Yeah, it says here, no? Another disbursement from the fund dated December 8, 2018 was a cash advance to an employee amounting to 3.5. So naglabas ka, petty cash fund mo. Naglabas ka doon ng 3,500. Binigyan mo. Okay, for whatever reason, kung ano yung, ano na yan, no? So 3.5, binigyan mo yung empleyado. So this was not taken up. So we take that up. So ito yung so ang hinahanap dito yung adjusted petty cash balance as of December 2018, December 31, 2018. Okay, so yung total as per trial balance 30,000 less yung mga expenses saka yung advances na hindi natin na-take up. So meron pang 10,250. Yan. So yung shortage, hindi natin makuha dyan. So the best answer is cannot be determined because of the insufficient information. Okay, so let's proceed to number 3. Compute for the adjusted cash in bank balance dash Lloyd Bank on December 31, 2018. So, taking that up. So, kukunin natin, gagawa tayo ng bank recon, no? So, book and bank. Okay, so ano-ano yung mga reconciling, ito yung mga reconciling items, no? Okay, so yung NSF check. Okay, so naalala natin kanina yung NSF check nandito. Okay, so ito. Yan. So, this one, no? So a check of 22,500 received from the customer whose account is current had been deposited and returned by the bank. So isinole. No? So wala tayong ginawa na entry dito. Okay, so kumbaga, itong check-in na to, na galing sa customer natin, galing sa customer ng company, binayad na. Okay, so ni-record ng company yung cash, debit cash, no? Credit accounts receivable. Okay? Pero tumalbog. So, babalik na rin yun. Dapat i-adjust na yun, debit accounts receivable and credit cash. Pero wala tayong ginawa. So, anong gagawin natin? Ibabawas natin dun sa ating book balance, no? Okay, for 22,500. Okay, and then next is yung bank error. Now, ano itong bank error? Di ba naalala mo ito? Yung bank error natin nakalagay dito, ayan siya. Okay, so sabi dito, a check for 5,720. Yan lang yung amount na nakalagay dun sa cheque. Na-clear na sa bank. Pero ang ni-record ng bank is 7,520. So this is a transpositional error. So the bank made the correction noong 2019 pa. So ibig sabihin, this is a bank reconciling item, no? Okay, so bank error yan. So anong gagawin yan? Idadagdag yan natin, no? So itong bank error. So this would be addition to our bank statement for 1/8. Yung difference nung 7,520 tsaka 5,720. And then the next one, yung unrecorded cash receipts. So sequential naman to, no? Okay, ito, unrecorded cash receipts. So I check for 3,500 representing payment of an employee advance. Okay? Was received and deposited on December 27, 2018, but was not recorded until January 3. Okay, so representing payment of employee advance. Okay, na-receive na natin, no? Okay, and na-deposit na natin noong 2018. Pero hindi pa natin na-record, no? So, this is a reconciling item doon sa book for 3.5. So, kasi hindi natin na-record, no? Okay, so para madagdagan yung book balance natin, no? So dadagdag natin 'yan. Okay? Ganun naman ang mga yung audit, yung bank reconciliation, no, particularly, no. Kung ano yung hindi na take up ng company, ilalagay natin whether as an addition or a subtraction. Depende dun sa nature ng transaction, no? In the same manner, kung ano yung hindi na take up ng bangko, no? Halimbawa yung mga deposit in transit, then ilalagay natin doon, i-reconcile natin doon sa bank statement natin, no? Na galing sa kanila. Tayong gumagawa pa rin noon, no? Hindi bangko, hindi ko pwede sabihin sa bangko na, "Uy, gawin niyo 'yan," no? Ikaw pa rin ang maggagawa niyan. Ikaw pa rin, say yung accountant mo pa rin. Kasi ikaw yung nag-audit. Okay, so kasi ang purpose nun is makita mo yung yung bang mapagbangga mo. Okay, magpagtama mo yung balanse, magpag-correct mo. Okay. Ay, ito yung hindi ginawa ng company. So ito-take up natin. Ito pala yung hindi ginawa ng bangko. So ito-take up natin. Yun. Ganun. Okay. So the point there is kung ano yung dapat, okay, what should have been the correct one, no? Okay. And then the next one is the post-dated checks. Okay, ito post-dated checks. Speaking of which, ito hindi na take up to ng bangko. Bakit? Kasi ito pagkatapos ito sequence to, no? Okay, just after nung yung kanina yung sa employee advance, no? Okay, so post-dated checks totaling 67,300 were included in the deposit in transit. This represent collections of current receivable of customers. So the checks were actually deposited on January 5, 2019. So post-dated checks. So ibig sabihin ng post-dated, siya, yung bang naka-post date, no? Okay, so hindi pa siya due. Okay? This represents collections of accounts receivable. So galing ito sa mga customer. Okay, so ano yung reconciling item dito? Okay, so 67,300. Ibabawas natin sa book. Bakit natin ibabawas sa book? Kasi hindi pa post-dated pa nga siya. Okay, so ayan. So in-include na natin sa deposit in transit. Ay, yung deposit in transit, yun, ibig sabihin, dapat talaga natin i-add yun sa balance natin. No? Kasi ano na yun kumbaga for deposit na yun Pero magkaiba yung post-dated checks dun sa deposit in transit. Okay? Kasi yung post-dated checks, hindi pa siya nag-due. Pero nilagay na natin dun sa cash balance natin. Okay? So, etong mga check-in na to, yung sa post-dated, due siya by 2019 pa, January 5. You know? Kaya nakalagay dito. So ibig sabihin, pero dun sa books natin, inilagay na natin as of 2018. So tatanggalin natin yung 67,300 because hindi naman siya nangyari hindi naman talaga siya nag-due noong 2018. So tatanggalin na natin. Okay? So post-dated checks. And then next is yung deposit in transit. So if you say itong deposit in transit na to, okay, ito yung item dito nakalagay dito. Various debit memos for drafts purchased for the payment of importation of equipment totaling 230,000 were not yet recorded. Okay, so these purchases were previously set up as accounts payable. So what is the treatment there? Okay, and then we now go dun sa deposit in transit. So in deposit in transit and outstanding checks at December 31, 2018 totaled 136,250 and 276,380 respectively. So yung deposit in transit muna. This is an addition to the bank. No? So 136,250. Naalala mo, itong 67,300 na yan, may nakasama yan dun sa deposit in transit. Kasi ang statement dito, if you go back again dun sa statement, it says here, post-dated checks amounting to 67,300 were included in the deposit in transit. Nakasama. So yung 130,000 na yon na deposit in transit natin, 136,250, ibabawas natin yung 67,300. Kasi yung 67,300, those are post-dated checks. Magkaiba yung deposit in transit kasi dun sa post-dated. Pag sinabing deposit in transit, due na yung mga cheque doon. So bayad na yung company doon. So may addition na doon sa cash balance nila. Okay? Hindi pa nga lang nare-record ng bangko. Pero yung post-dated checks, itong post-dated checks, ito hindi pa talaga nag-due to. Okay? So kumbaga, ni-record na ng company pero hindi pa siya nag-due. So tatanggalin natin siya. Okay, so ayan. So 136,250 less 67,300. Ayan. So okay, and then the next one is yung deposit in transit for 136,000 250 and 67,300. Now, it says here dito sa ano na to, dito sa item na to, nakalagay dito sa deposit in transit. So mag-skip muna tayo doon. Deposit in transit and accounts outstanding checks at December 31, 2018 total 136,250 and 276,380 respectively. So yung 136,250, these are deposit in transit. Ayan. Okay, itong deposit in transit na to, kung naalala nyo, dun sa nakalagay dito sa item na to, post-dated checks totaling 67,300 were included in the deposit in transit. So ano yung deposit in transit na tinutukoy doon? Ito yun, yung 136,250. So in other words, this 67,300 is included within that 136,250. Okay, so there's a difference between a deposit in transit and outstanding checks. Deposit in transit is already due. No? Due na siya. Okay, that is already a cash received by the company. Okay, but it's not yet taken up by the bank because for some reason nakaano pa siya, no? Okay, in transit pa siya. But the post-dated checks is not yet due. Okay, so therefore, the cash, this post-dated checks was only due on January 5, 2019. So take note of that, 2019. So you have to take the 67,300 from the 136,250. Okay, because the difference of those two represents the pure deposit in transit that should have been recognized by the bank on 2018. So that's why there is you deduct 67,300 from the 136,250 total. Okay, so the net balance should be added to the bank because this has not yet been, like we said, this has not yet been recognized by the bank as an additional to the cash balance. Okay, because they only recognized that in 2019, but that should have been recognized in 2018. So it is a reconciling item to the bank. And then we can now proceed with the other items. Okay, so there is a bank debit memo. So various debit memos for gross purchase for payment of importation of equipment totaling 230,000 were not yet recorded. So these purchases were set up as accounts payable. Said equipment arrived in December 2018. So we will deduct this from the cash balance of the company. Okay, because that has already been considered by the bank or recognized by the bank as deduction because this is a transaction between the bank and the supplier of the equipment abroad. Okay, so it was already debited to the account of the company. Okay, but the company didn't do anything yet, so it has to deduct the 230,000 disbursement for that equipment. Okay, and then next is the interest earned. Now, what is the interest earned? If we see here, the interest earned, it says here, interest earned on the bank balance on the fourth quarter of 2018, so 1,950. So this is an additional to the book because the bank has already considered that. Okay, and then the bank service charge, of course, we have seen it a while ago. That is a book reconciling item because the bank is kumbaga na-recognize sa kagad niya ng bangko kasi galing sa kanila yan. Book pa lang, book hindi pa na-recognize. So that is a deduction, okay, of 1,260. Ito yun, no? Okay, so yun yung bank service charge, 1,260. Okay, and then the last one is the outstanding checks. Remember, the last item here, it says that deposited, transited, outstanding checks at December 31, 2018. So for 136 and 200, 136, 250 and 276, 380 respectively. So that 276, 380 is the deposit or the outstanding checks, which we will deduct from the bank statement. Okay. So after getting those items, we can now get the balance of the book for 432,710 and the adjusted balance of the bank for 432,000, also for 432,710. So this is the adjusted balances. Okay, now we shall now take number 4, which is the journal entry to take up the journal entry to adjust the cash in bank under Lloyd's Bank Company. So, okay, so yan na natin to. Reveal na natin siya. Yung pati yung number 5. Okay, so i-reveal na natin unti-unti. Okay. Okay, so we now take up number 4. So let's reveal them. Yan. Okay, so as we can see here, yung we debit accounts receivable based on the adjusted balances, no? This one, the reconciling items, no? Okay, so accounts receivable, we have 67,300. This one, the post-dated check plus the NSF. So these are accounts receivable. Okay. Post-dated check, since we have already recognized that as debit cash and credit accounts receivable, where it should not have been recorded yet because that is not yet due. So we have to revert it to accounts receivable again by debiting this said amount of 67,300, including the NSF. So for a total of 89,800. And then the next is debit accounts payable for 230,000. This is the purchase, the bank debit memos that the bank had already debited the company's account. Okay, so we need to recognize that by a debit to accounts payable and credit to cash. Okay, kasi binayaran na natin yun eh. Kasi nung una, ang setup natin doon, debit equipment and credit accounts payable. But nung ano na yun, nung nabayaran na through our bank account, so what the bank did was dinisburse niya na yung 230,000 and we have not yet done that. So in other words, we have already disbursed the 230,000. So we also have to recognize that our accounts payable had been reduced by that amount for 230,000. So debit 230,000 for accounts payable. So when we debit accounts payable, that means we are reducing the liability because the normal balance of a payable is credit. Okay. And then debit bank service charge because we recognize those things. So if you will notice, all that has a negative amount of this one is debited. Okay, because these are disbursement. So this were already deduction from our cash balance. So that's why it's all debited, no? Okay, that's why it's all in parentheses. Okay, so that's and then cash in bank, Lloyd. Okay, so actually this is okay. So the cash in bank, Lloyd Bank is the balancing figure. So we should first journalize or journal entry advances to employees because that one, the 3-5, this one, okay, we're already received that. No? Okay, so the unrecorded cash receipt was already recorded. So that's an addition. Okay, so credit to advances to employees and also the interest income we have received from the bank of 1,950. Okay, so this is an income, should be a credit, no? Okay, so now as we can see here, the balancing figure is 315,610 after considering all these deductions and this additions to the cash. So in order, this is the balancing figure. So a an entry to record the cash in banks. Okay, and then the next one, number 5. December 31, 2018 statement of financial position show a cash and cash equivalents at, okay, so we will take up this up. Okay, so petty cash fund of this much, 10,250. First, we obtain that from number 1. Okay, that the petty cash from number 1 solution. And then the time deposit. Okay, so we're looking for cash and cash equivalents, no? Okay, so everything that pertains to cash and cash equivalents, those highly liquid investments, which is 3 months or less than 3 months. No? So this is for 1 million. Okay, so because the time deposit says here that it's placed on December 2018, but it is due on March 2019. So that's about January, February, March. That's 3 months. Okay, so 3 months or less. Okay, and then of course the money market of 4 million. So if it does not tells you how long it was, there's no. So we assume that it is part of the cash equivalent. It's 4 million. So the total of our cash and cash equivalents would be 5,442,960. So if you have any questions, you may write your comment. And of course, subscribe, share, and like. Okay, so like I said, we should, as accountants, we should answer as many problems in auditing to be able to develop that skill. So again, God bless, stay safe, and stay healthy.